people experience the fulfillment and growth that comes through healthy relationships. We're wired for relationships, so tune in and join with me as I explore and discuss tools for healthy relationships every Monday, 12:15 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM.
Right, guys. Well, we are here for the program Healthy Relationships with a counselor and trainer, Petreece Cuffie. At this time, I want to welcome and say good afternoon to Petreece. Petreece, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Tiffany, and good afternoon to all our listeners, all our viewers. Really, really happy to be here again today. And I am continuing with 10 things that make the Christmas season tough and how to cope. So this is part 2. And we know that for a lot of people, it's the most wonderful time of the year. But for some, it can be really, really tough, really challenging. And I truly believe that once we've lived long enough, we will experience a Christmas or Christmas seasons that are tough. It just is the reality of life on this side of eternity, which is why for us, followers of Jesus, we want Jesus to return because life can be very, very tough from time to time. So a lot of times what makes things tough also is what Christmas season means to a person. So if it means things like, happy family, get-togethers with friends, family, food, gifts for children, going to office parties, dressing up and looking pretty, handsome, taking pictures, the whole pajama thing on a Christmas day by a Christmas tree. If it means those things, if those things are not happening, you could see how it can also just be tough because of what it means to us, and we feel like we're not experiencing those things. So looking at this is part 2 of 10 things that make the Christmas season tough and how to cope. And I would have dealt with on part 1, which was last Monday, and you can find that program on FBN TV on YouTube. And the 10 things are: 1, financial stress; 2, job loss; 3, family tensions and difficult relationships; 4, loneliness and isolation; 5, grief and bereavement. That's where I'm starting today. 6, newly divorced or separated; 7, children not with you; 8, time pressures and juggling commitments; 9, social expectations; and 10, illness. And I'm sure there are other things that can make this time of the year very tough for many of us, but these are some of the more common things that people experience even at this time. So starting today with number 5, which is grief and bereavement. So the absence of loved ones who have passed away can make this time, it can make actually any season, especially any season, hard to navigate, but especially a time like this, which is a time when people seem to have more time, or they allow themselves to have more time to what we call in Trinidad and Tobago liming, just hanging out with friends, family, eating, enjoying things. So the absence of a loved one is felt in a very deep way at this season. So that if this is one of the things that is making this time difficult for you, one of the things that you need to do is give yourself permission to skip it. So I'm sharing about 4 pointers to cope with this time. If you want, just skip it, right? It's okay not to celebrate or not to participate in the usual activities, the usual festivities, right? If this Christmas looks a whole lot different to last year, then it's understandable that you may not be feeling what people could call that Christmas spirit, that holiday spirit. You may not be feeling that at all. And it's okay to decide, I'm not doing anything this year. Nothing is wrong with that. You're not sinning. You're not offending God. There's nothing like that, right? Because we know even Jesus wasn't born at this time, but it's a time that for different reasons we repurpose to give God thanks for sending his son, right? Now it's okay to set boundaries for yourself and to skip things that you feel pressured to do. So there are things you may feel pressured to do and you could skip it. I've known people who put up things like, Christmas tree and stuff, and after the first Christmas after the loved one passed, they didn't even have energy to do that. They didn't even want to do it. If somebody wanted to come home and help them with it, they're okay with that. But it's okay to skip things, to not do things that you feel, I really don't have the emotional energy to do this. So wrapping gifts, putting up tree, attending parties, right? Grant yourself the permission this year to see how you are feeling, right? And if you need to skip it, skip it. And you're free if you want to do what you did years before. Next year, God's willing. All right. Secondly, try to remember your loved one in a special way. That really helps. So, like you may have some kind of gathering and you ask everybody to share a special memory, concerning the person who's passed. You want to do like a collage of pictures of memories and put it up in a special place in the home. Have a memory box where people could write something and drop it there, and you could, if you want, just read it after how this person would have touched their lives, and all of these things. Yeah, they may bring a certain amount of sadness, but there's a certain amount of comfort in knowing this person wasn't just loved by you, they were also loved by others and were special to others. So remember your loved one in a special way in this season. Number three, use your support systems. So you're grieving, use your support systems. Allow yourself to feel the ugly feelings of grief, the cry and the ugly cry face, be angry, laugh, get it out. As I say to my clients, you want to cry 200 tears, don't cry 100. Cry the 200. Let it out. Don't bottle it up. It will be hard, but that just shows how special that loved one was to you and how they are held deeply in your heart. And use your support systems around you to cry, cry on someone's shoulder. Talk about your feelings. This helps you to navigate that whole grieving process, especially at this time, a little easier, right? You could also recognize and manage your triggers. So number 4, recognize and manage your triggers. So feelings of grief and loss might be triggered by certain traditions, songs, smells, even people during the season. Reflect. So think about it and recognize what may be triggering you or what may trigger you, and understand how your body reacts. So you might feel panicked or anxiety or even depressive thoughts. So coping strategies might involve removing yourself from a situation, even practicing some breathing. So that deep breathing, that box breathing I would have spoken about in other programs, in through your nose, out through your mouth, to just calm yourself so you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm getting a panic here. And you breathe, or grounding exercises where you look at something and just take your focus off of what is happening in your body, right? Or even sometimes bring in a journal, something to write along with you, in your Christmas gathering, where if you need just a quiet moment and I need to write. And many of us could do this on our devices, just getting it out. Well, not necessarily on paper, but even getting it out electronically on our devices, it really helps, right? And a trigger might be a particular person or how they behave and they speak to you. And in this case, you may need to set some boundaries with them, for the season. And one thing I say to clients, have a plan A and a plan B. You can have a plan A that I am going to do this, and then you have a plan B. If I'm not going to do this, then I'm going to do this instead. And just having those two plans to choose from, it can help you with just managing the holiday. And another one, you could decide to do something different. So where normally I would be in my home, this time let me go to, even if it's another country. Yeah. Number this will be number 6, but it's number 5. Get help, seek counseling. So if you realize this grieving is really overwhelming you, you're unable to do very much, get counseling, get yourself some help. And just know it won't be easy. And it won't be easy because grief is a roller coaster ride. It isn't even day by day. It is moment by moment. But just know that you are not alone. God is with you. God is with you. And please reach out to your close friends and loved ones for support. Number 6, another situation that can make this season really tough is if you're newly divorced or separated, because that is a big loss. That involves grief. It's the loss of hopes and dreams and expectations. People don't marry to get divorced. We don't, right? People don't get married to say, okay, this person, we don't. I don't want to be with this person, right? So it's a difficult time. But you have to accept that no matter what you do, you cannot make up for the losses. You have to grieve and move on. So that trying to keep things exactly the same as they were before the divorce or before the separation only emphasizes that nothing is the same, right? So for your well-being, newly divorced or separated, for your well-being, set realistic expectations. Understand that things may feel different, and that is okay. I think it's very important, again, for us to always remember feelings are neither right nor wrong. Telling yourself you shouldn't feel something actually doesn't help. Being able to say, okay, this is what I feel, and this is why I feel this is more helpful, but also what can I think and or do to feel differently. So saying, I shouldn't feel this, why are you feeling this? You're stupid to feel this. Don't do that to yourself. It's not healthy, right? So it's okay to feel that things are very different because they are. So don't try to replicate the past. Be kind to yourself through the process. Things are different. Prioritize your self-care. So this is for your well-being. Set realistic expectations. Okay, things have changed. What are realistic expectations in this situation? Prioritize your self-care, right? Plan activities to restore you. So you want to exercise, you want to read, you want to spend time on hobbies. Think about what are things that make me happy? What are things that make me feel relaxed? And put some of those things into your routine. Walking in nature, right? Don't isolate yourself. Don't isolate yourself. That's a very easy thing to do, right? Don't isolate yourself. Make a plan to connect with family, with friends, or even to volunteer, even to help out somewhere. Don't spend the holiday alone if you don't want to. Sometimes we want to be alone in our home, and that doesn't mean we isolated ourselves. We're just alone in our home. But we are talking and communicating, with persons. But don't isolate yourself as in I'm not communicating with anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to. No, don't do that. That's not healthy, right? Focus on others. Focus on others. Giving to others can be a rewarding way to appreciate the season and to shift your focus from what is missing. There is a way that God has wired us that makes when we give, when we help others, when we support others, when we make others happy, it makes us feel good. It makes life feel meaningful because God wired us for community. He wired us for community. He wired us for relationships. He wired us to give, to be givers. And there's such an awesome blessing in helping others and giving. So focus on others. Don't just be inward. Focus on how different this time is because of the separation or the divorce. Create new traditions. Create new traditions. This is a fresh start. Embrace the opportunity to build new traditions that are unique to you and your new circumstances. So, okay, so do this. Look, this is a new start. That relationship is over in that way. And let's do something different. Involve your children. Involve your children in creating those new traditions. Talk to them about new ideas for the season. Include them in thinking about, what the family could do. And yeah, do something new, something different. Get them excited. Celebrate differently. Consider celebrating in a new way, a new location, right? We go some other place instead, a Airbnb, a different place, right? And you could even incorporate some childhood tradition that you would have had for this season that you've never would have done with them and introduce the children, to this new tradition. And of course, if you have young children, remember to collaborate with your ex-spouse in advance as much as possible to know where the children would be so you have a healthy expectation of what will be happening, right? Work together with your ex to create a holiday plan that works for the children, which would involve splitting time and celebrating in different ways. Communicate openly. Keep your ex-spouse informed of your plans so you can both communicate openly with the children and minimize drama. So the children know where we would be, on what days. If children have issues, I don't want to be here or whatever, you can talk with them and work that out so that on the days where there's movement and stuff taking place, we have less drama. And finally, be patient. So when we're talking with the children, set a calm and cooperative tone for your children, right? In terms of even for you all as parents. So we're divorced, we have children together, be cooperative, be calm as you are modeling how they will navigate future conflicts. So remember, we are models to our children. So even in the best interest of the children, we try to be calm and cooperative as possible. Now, if the children are not with you, so we have children, I have children, and they are not with me for this season. So you are co-parenting or you are parallel parenting. And some persons have never heard the word parallel parenting. And parallel parenting is done when co-parenting is not possible. And co-parenting is cooperative parenting. So where two adult parents are working together in the best interest of their children. And then we do parallel parenting when we are parenting with persons who exhibit a lot of narcissistic behavior. And it is parallel parenting because in your home you do things this way, and in their home they do things another way. So it's difficult to have cooperation, right? And for those listening, first time hearing it is something you can look at, because you actually cannot co-parent with someone who has a lot of narcissistic behaviors or tendencies. It is not possible, right? So if the children are not with you because you are co-parenting, because you're parallel parenting, to deal with that, focus on being kind to yourself, connect with your support system, and create new traditions to manage your emotions and to stay positive. So, practice self compassion. Have compassion for yourself. Acknowledge your emotions and be kind to yourself. Again, feelings are neither right nor wrong. Telling yourself I shouldn't feel something never helps, right? Be proactive with your emotions. What am I feeling? Letting yourself know it is okay to feel this, and this is why I'm feeling it. Label your feelings, name them to tame them. When you name the feeling, I am feeling depressed, I am feeling sad, I am feeling overwhelmed. Just naming it takes some of the edge and the sting out of it, right? So focus on being kind to yourself. Connect with your support systems and create new traditions to manage your emotions. So practice that self compassion, as the holidays can be a trigger for feeling sad and lonely. It can be, right? This is not how I expected my holidays to go. Prioritize your well-being. Engage in relaxing activities like reading, walking in nature, or just think about what relaxes you. Sometimes we need to have a list. I let my clients make a list of the things that make them happy and things that relax them. And once these things are not sinful, do them. Have these things as a normal part of your day or normal part of your week, just to recharge you emotionally, right? Stay mindful. Use grounding techniques like deep breathing to reduce anxiety and promote relaxation. When we say stay mindful, meaning that you're in the moment and your brain not off somewhere worrying about something, being anxious about something. You're in the moment and you are enjoying what is there in front of you. And if that is not what is happening, I am doing something to relax myself. Some deep breathing, some focusing on something beautiful. So I'm just focusing on those flowers over there, right? And just taking in the colors and taking in, just the beauty of the arrangement. Those things are what we call being mindful or grounding techniques. Limit your social media. Consider limiting your time on social media to avoid seeing family photos and videos that make you feel worse. Sometimes I tell people, according to what they're going through, come off of social media. Social media is showing, for a lot of people, the best parts of people lives, right? And we could end up comparing ourselves to that and wondering, well, what is so wrong with me? I'm not good enough. Something is wrong with me, right? Connect with others. Spend time with friends, family, and other people who may also be on their own for the holidays. And create new traditions. Start a new ritual for yourself with your chosen family members, right, that are not centered around your children. The children alone, right? So this could be a special meal, a holiday trip, going out with your friends, right? Volunteering activity. So things with family that doesn't involve your children, because your children are not with you. Celebrate at another time. Decide, okay, if your children are with me, I could, I don't need to decorate. I don't need to do anything. I could celebrate at another time. And so you could either decide, okay, children, we'll celebrate when you all come back. So we'll do something special when you all come back. Or if you decide before you all go, we'll do something special, right? So you can celebrate at another time. Connect with your children. So they're not with you. So you coordinate a video call, a phone call, exchanging messages to stay connected while they are with the other parent. Adjust your expectations. Expectations are what kill us sometimes. We a lot of times have unrealistic expectations, right? So 40-day, be more realistic about what is going to happen. Use the information that you have, about what is going on, people's behaviors, and have realistic explanations that helps to reduce stress, right? When I expect something and it doesn't happen, I feel deeply disappointed. I can feel heartbroken. But if I look into the situation, why did you even expect that? Based on the information that you have and the knowledge that you have about whether it's people or whoever. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. And this is a big deal, right? What do you have control over? Your attitude, your responses to things. Focus on what you can control rather than what you cannot control, right? So you can decide, okay, this is happening. This is how I'm going to choose to respond. I'm going to choose to praise. I'm going to choose to thank God. I'm going to choose to believe that all things are working together for my good because I'm called by God and I love God, right? You could choose that. So embrace the me time. Your children are not with you, embrace the me time. Use the time to do things you enjoy or simply just relax. Relax. Simply do nothing, right? Knowing that you would see your children again soon. And if it's really difficult, because it really can be, seek support. So whether professional support or there are people who have been along this road or they're further along this road, and you talk to them, find out from them, how they would have coped and just get support. Sometimes just a listening ear and somebody showing and giving understanding may be all that you need. Number 8, what else can make this time tough? Time pressures and juggling commitments. So managing work deadlines. So I have a lot of clients who are talking about so many things closing off and they need to finish this and they need to finish this project and this assignment. So managing work deadlines, school events, shopping, meal planning, social events, these things can feel overwhelming and lead to just fatigue, tiredness, even poor sleep. So to handle the time pressures and juggling commitment during this season, this Christmas season, prioritize what is most meaningful, learn to say no to non-essential activities, delegate tasks if possible, set realistic expectations, create a budget, and schedule time to take care of yourself. And also, don't forget to be present in the moment. Things happening with yourself, family, loved ones, children, and your brain off wondering about some other thing you need to do, and you're literally missing some good times. So, prioritize your time. Identify the activities and traditions that are most important to you and focus your energy there. You don't have to do everything for the season to be good, right? Create a schedule. Make a day-to-day plan to avoid feeling overwhelmed by everything that needs to be done. Sometimes I tell my clients, have a to-do list, 4 things, not more. And just try work on getting those things done by God's grace. Say no. You cannot say yes to everything and be successful. You cannot say yes to everything and have enough energy, right? For the important things. Do not feel obligated to say yes to every invitation or request. Politely decline anything that does not fit your schedule or add to sometimes your joy, But I'm not saying that you don't have difficult things that you need to do, but you cannot do everything. You can't do everything. So you need to look at, okay, God, what is important at this time? Who are the people that are also important, that need me, that I need to be able to say yes to? So I have to say no to other things. Delegate tasks. Ask for help from others, right? Or share the load. Many times, things we do and we can tell our children to do it, right? We don't have to do it. We can ask for help from others, right? But we can ask family members. We have gatherings and stuff. Tell other family members, bring this, bring that. And they're happy too. People love to be able to help, right? Manage your expectations and your finances. Set realistic expectations. Avoid overcommitting and being mindful that the holidays don't have to be perfect. Actually, you have nothing perfect. And sometimes the most fun is when things are not perfect and we can laugh, about, oh my God, that was so embarrassing, but we still laughing. We have a nice memory that we can talk about in the future. And of course, have a budget. Have a budget, right? Um, Practice your self-care. Schedule a little me time. Carve out some time for yourself, even if it's 15 minutes to relax, to recharge, to do something you enjoy. And I remember one client sharing, she said just 10 minutes in the morning, she's drink a cup of coffee and just talk to God, just those 10 minutes before everybody gets up. And that is so important to her. Prioritize your sleep. So sometimes we need to have a night routine where we, for these 15 minutes, this is what we're doing before we put our head on that pillow and ask God for some good sleep, right? Because sleep is very important for our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual health. Move your body, move, right? Some exercise like walking. Walking is very good exercise for depression, anxiety, stress. So if you could find ways to get your walking in, so like I said to one client, she can get the person who drops her to drop her off just a little further from home, and she says it's safe enough, and walk. So have a 15 minutes of walk instead of getting that drop straight up to your home, right? And practice relaxing. Take moments to breathe deeply throughout the day. Some moments just to breathe. Relax your shoulders and do some breathing. Focusing on the present, right? A little time of gratitude, just being thankful for the good things in your life, right? Shift your mindset. So focus on meaning. Remember that the holiday season is about more than just material things. Focus on your meaningful connections, focus on your loved ones, focus on God. That even though we know Jesus wasn't born at this time, but Jesus was born. And because he was born, he was able to die for us so that we can have new life. Focus on what is meaningful. Express that gratitude. Just taking a moment to be thankful for God for what he has done can help to put things in perspective, and you wouldn't believe gratitude. And I want to do that program probably next Monday, God's willing, what it does for the mind. It really does a lot of positive things for our mental state. And be present. Try to focus on the moment that you are in rather than constantly planning for the next thing. So your children, they're having some fun, or your friend talking to you about something, and your mind thinking, okay, what are we going to cook for so, and missing out just the fun of interacting and being present. You're eating some nice food, but your mind somewhere far. So you're not even tasting the food and enjoying it and being thankful to God, right? Another thing that makes the Christmas season tough is our social expectations, right? There can be a lot of pressure to live up to societal and social media driven ideas of the perfect Christmas, right? Which can impact our mental well being. And all those, what are those movies? Oh gosh. Hallmark movies. Of course, we have no snow here. And I know people are listening to me from all over, and some of those places may have snow. But those Hallmark movies and so all those things, the perfect Christmas. Listen, there's no such thing as a perfect Christmas, right? There's a perfect God. Um, so adjust your expectation, set realistic expectations. If we need to get through this life in general, we have to, once we experience certain things, we need to change our expectations. So we don't keep expecting certain things from situations and people, and we keep feeling disappointed or heartbroken, right? So set realistic expectations, recognize that Christmas may not be perfect, that's okay, and let go of the pressure to have this perfect or flawless Christmas, whatever that looks like to you, right? You make it perfect. You decide how you want to spend it. Examine your expectations. Ask yourself if your expectations are realistic. Focus on what you can control, your attitude, right? That is much more effective than basing happiness on uncontrollable events or even basing happiness on what others will do, because you have no control over others. So you have to decide, this is what I have control over, this is what I can do, so this is what I am going to do. Set boundaries and communicate them. So manage your calendar. You do not have to attend every event. It is a valid choice to decline invitations to protect your peace and your well-being. Communicate your needs. Talk to loved ones honestly about how you're feeling and what you need. This can lead to a better understanding, of you, and even how to support you, how for your loved ones to support you in a healthier or more practical way. Address financial pressure. Be open with friends and family about your financial concerns. So people can want to do a lot of things to make Christmas perfect. And a lot of those things cost money. And you may not have that money. So, sometimes you need to be able to say to people, I can't do this, I can't do that. And that doesn't mean that the season cannot be good for you. Collectively, you can agree on spending limits or focus on free activities. This is if you're doing things with others. Focus on yourself and your well-being. Limit social media. Avoid comparing your holiday to all those curated online posts, right? That are often unrealistic. Take a break or unfollow accounts that cause you stress. Seeing this, it really stresses me out. I ain't reached that place yet where I could just be happy about all these things. These things are still painful for me. So you know what? I don't want to see it. Not because I'm not happy for those persons, but it's still a point of pain for me, whatever that situation may be, right? Um, Make time for rest and relaxation and activities that bring you joy, like reading, walking, hobby. As again, make a list of the things that cause you to feel relaxed, things that make you happy, and do some of those things. Acknowledge your emotions, please. It is okay to feel sad, stressed, or anxious. Give yourself permission to feel whatever emotions come up rather than forcing yourself to be happy. So you feel what you feel, you name it to tame it, you understand why you're feeling it, and you can decide, okay, but what can I do? What can I do that may help me with this? And you take those actions, whether it could be talking to God, journaling, calling a friend, praying, putting on some praise and worship music and dancing and singing at the top of your lungs, right? Create new traditions. Design your own traditions. Find purpose in the day. Schedule some kind of activity if you're thinking about Christmas Day that gives you a sense of purpose. Seek support and connection. Talk to someone. Share your feelings. Helping others, right? And checking in with others, especially if you're spending it alone. Check in with others. And the last situation that can make this time tough is illness. So very important, if you have some kind of chronic illness, plan ahead and manage your expectations. Pace yourself, schedule rest and breaks, and choose smaller, more manageable events that align with your energy needs, how much energy you have. Simplify traditions, just scale back on things, right? And scale back on demanding activities. Communicate honestly. Let friends and family know in advance if you might need to cancel last minute. I'm telling you I'm coming, but I may have to cancel last minute because of how I might be feeling, right? So that you don't have that stress because I promise and I can't go. Set boundaries. Be prepared to politely redirect somebody who wants to know more about, your illness, and you have to over explain. Find something that you're going to say to the person who wants you to over explain, right? Prioritize your well being. Create a quiet space, even in gatherings where I might be able to, if I'm coming, I'll need to lie down, And the person will say, okay, if you have to lie down, you could come to this room. Or I may need to just spend some time away sitting by myself. Let it be known, that's okay. So tell people about these things. Modify food choices, communicate your dietary restrictions, or even bring a dish that you can eat safely if you have, stuff with your diet, and don't overeat, especially rich foods that could increase things like inflammation and those things. Of course, get professional advice. Talk to your doctor if you have to travel, even about your diet or concerns, to make sure that you are okay. So, those are the 10 things that can make this holiday season very tough, right? And as I say, if we live long enough, all of us would have to deal with tough holiday seasons. But we thank God for His grace that is sufficient, His divine empowerment that helps us through these tough times, and we thank Him for family and friends.
And
Yes, Tiffany.
I'm saying thank you on that note, Petreece. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I am hearing
Okay,
you.
excellent, excellent. All right. So, well, it's 1 p.m. And guys, you were just listening to the program Healthy Relationships with Petreece Cuffie. It's available on FBN TV, that's on YouTube, and Isaac the Promise on Facebook. So head across and make sure you share the link with someone. All right. So, Petreece, once again, I'm saying thank you. I will leave your
You're
numbers with
welcome.
them when I head across into the next hour. But for now,
Sure.
we are closing off and saying goodbye. Have a great one, Petreece.
Bye-bye.
God bless
You
you.
too.
Until
God
we meet again.
bless.
Take care.
Okay. Hi, I'm Petreece Cuffie, counselor and trainer, and one of my deepest desires is to see people experience the fulfillment and growth that comes through healthy relationships. We're wired for relationships, so tune in and join with me as I explore and discuss tools for healthy relationships every Monday, 12:15 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM.
Isaac